Oh, I'm online. Good afternoon, everybody. This training today is going to be on the Charleston MLS, and then we do want to apologize for anyone from Santee or Manny or Anderson that might be online. This is only going to affect the Charleston agents. We will schedule something at a later time to do your MLS, but at this moment it's all about our MLS. What I'm going to first do is log on to the MLS. I thought that we would have you be able to do this, but I'll take it slow and go through it one step at a time, showing you how to do it from the MLS. First, you're going to log on to the home screen of the MLS, and you're going to click on Prospect. Prospect has multiple functions. A few of us didn't know that you can create it as using it as a database, callback information, keeping notes, keeping track of your clients, and everything else. So what we're going to do is we're going to create a new prospect, and you want to fill out as much information as you possibly can. So I'm going to put in my information, my name, my address, you'll see here in a minute when we do some reports why you want to fill all this information out. A secondary address would be an address of a second person, maybe a boyfriend, girlfriend, that might not be getting the information. Husband and wife live in two different states, because this can be set up as a buyer or seller contact information. Once you have the name and address put in, then come down to the email address. And then the email format, just let it default to the HTML. And then you can put in as much information with the phone numbers. There is no correct or incorrect format. It's just what is comfortable for you in putting in your numbers. I kind of like to do it all straight, but you can do you can put it in with work phone like that and the cell phone all straight. It doesn't really make a difference. So that's all your contact information. This is all going to come in handy. Once we get through the next step, you'll see how important all this becomes. The next is, this is where you start your database. Right under here, dates and settings. You have a callback. And what I want to do is put in here that I want to call back Mike tomorrow or a date in the future, and you just put in the date format. The expire after and notification interval is based on the prospect. When you create a search on information like that, that would be another training, but what I'm setting this training up for is using it as a database. So the expired after and the notification, that all applies to the prospecting section once you put in there the search parameters and everything else. You want to set up a first meeting date, so this will show up in your log. You met them today. What type of, is it a buyer or a seller? By hitting the down arrow click. A buyer. The status indicate it works with the prospect when you have your saved searches and stuff. And the reverse prospecting, allowing them to log on, getting updates and all this stuff. You see password is blank. What you want to do is under consumer URL, this is where you want to put in their name. And when you hit Save Changes, it'll come up. You'll say OK. Oops, it said it already existed, so let me create another one. That's correct. You can create a URL, and what it'll do is it will actually create this link that is now emailed to them with a password. They'll be able to log on to the MLS with this username and password, and they will be able to see their account, listings that they've been sent or not sent. They're able to review market analysis and financing options. And when they click on those, what will happen is they will be able to see the finance. If they want more financing, it will email you that they're interested in financing information so that you can email them back from that. So when you go in, set one of these up as you, set it up with your name and let it send you an email so that you can click on it and actually see what I'm talking about from that. Then you want to hit Save and Close, and that pretty much is all you need for your database part of that. Then it created a username for you. I'm going to reopen it. Now, the next section for the database is under Notes. Save Searches, that's with prospecting, setting them up for showings, or excuse me, sending emails and everything to them about for properties and stuff. The Notes is where you can come in and you can create contact information, like today, met clients for the first time on 2/15, sent them listings. Or if it's a seller, you can say an updated CMA. These days will correspond with the dates that you've made contact with them or you've done something, so that you can keep track of the log of a database for that person. And when you're done, you just hit Save Changes. Yes, you can put in there dates as birth dates, anniversary dates, when they sold the house, bought the house, and then you can go back to the main. Once you're all done with your client, you can go back in and do a callback date and use that as the anniversary date, so it reminds you to send out a anniversary card on the sale of their house or the buyer of their house, just to put you back out in front of them. You can ask them for referrals and all that stuff. So that pretty much is what the database will do. Now that you have that information in there, what can you do with it? Right now I'm clicked on Wayman Mike, and over here to the right you see on all my prospects, these carts represent buyers. The shopping cart represent buyers, and this one right here represents dollars. It's a dollar sign. That's a seller. And then over to the right, because your clients are going to be able to log in and update and do some changes, but when you see the globes over here, they indicated they came through the MLS, through the free website of the MLS. And when you see a card, that represents that you entered them in the as a prospect. I'm going to move this picture here for a second. Bear with me because I want to show you what's on the bottom here. Over here, because I'm highlighted, you'll see that it has my name, has my address and information on the client. Talks about the phone numbers and everything else, and you can click on it and it'll bring things up. You can click on the email. It's a hyperlink right into the email. But then on the right-hand side can give you some information. When they was last logged on, callback. It reminds you there's a callback date and a monthly, and that has to do with prospecting. And then your first meeting date. So it gives you a little bit of data just being on that highlight. From here, let's say I've got there's this little box down here called batch search. When you hit the down arrow button, it allows us to do generate export files, so we can take, and I'll show you here in a second, where you can download this and put it to an Excel file if you already have some sort of a database or you want to create a long-term one that you can keep it on here instead of filling up the MLS. You can also download this to your Outlook export file, and if you have Outlook on your phone, on your computer, and you can hit this download V card, it will automatically put all this information of your client automatically in your Outlook. Then if I want to send batch emails, I got an upcoming sale or upcoming open house and I want to include a bunch of people, and I'll show you how to do that here in a second. And generating mailing labels. That'll allow you to go in and send out letters, and you can generate labels for all the people you choose. So I'm going to go in and I want to send, in this case I got a lot of buyers except sellers, and I'm just going to click a few of them. Then I'm going to come down here and I'm going to select a batch email. And then you want to click on Run Batch. If I'm going too fast, please let us know. And then you'll see here, this is typically what you see in the MLS when you're sending reports. But this is, you're actually sending an email, and it highlighted the ones that I had created. This is where I can send to them that I am having an open house this weekend on such and such such. And then when you hit send message, the people that you wanted to send to will get that email just from going into the MLS. So you don't have to go in your emails to do all this. You can do this from here. So and then you can do spell check because I'm a lousy speller. But then you would click save message, and then they'll get that information. The personal signature here down at the bottom is if you want to add in here your contact information with your name, phone numbers, emails, that would be all the personal stuff. And you can set that up to be automatically when you go into the prospect. So that's how you send out a batch email. What I've done now is went back to prospect, and I'm going to choose mailing labels. I want to send them all Happy Valentine cards. I can select a few, or I can come up here and select everybody. When select everybody, you'll see a check mark in all of them. You can come down to the batch search, and I want to generate mailing addresses. When you click on that, you click on the Run Batch, and you now can print to an Avery 5960 labels, and now you see that it has the importance of filling in all the information of your client. If you notice to the right, I have some clients in here that doesn't have information, and then the other ones that do have information, they'll automatically, you can print it to your labels, and now you can take those labels off and put them on your envelopes for mailing and stuff. So that's all coming out of the prospect feature. Again, what I did was I clicked on prospect. I selected who I wanted to send it to. In this case, I selected all. I went down to the batch search. I hit the down arrow button, and I generated the mailing labels, and I hit Run Batch. If you want to see what's going on with all your clients, which I've got highlighted, you can click on one line report. And then when you hit run batch, in the run batch shows you line by line each one of your clients, the ID number that it assigns it to. Are they buyers or sellers? You can see the difference between buyers and sellers. And then the status, active, inactive. What inactive is means during a period of time they didn't go in and check their information that we were sending to them. Then you got their email addresses, and then your dates they were created, the last read, and then if it came in through the public site or listed, that's on the free. I do have a question. Can you change the label type? That I don't know, but I think you can download the file into probably a Word document, and you might be able to edit the type it is for a 3 label to a 4 label or something. You might be able to, if you got a more current version of Word or something, I think you'll be able to do that, but not sure for that. So I hope that helps. But this is showing you the one-line report. When you go back to prospect, oh, let me move myself back so you guys can see me better. This time I'm going to do a report, a printable report. So I'm going to select one. I'm going to go to printable report and hit run batch. And now you can see I can do a report. I can keep track. You can see the notes. This would be great for you to put in your files, your folders of your clients. You got all your information here, so this would be like a contact information sheet that you can staple inside your folder. When you need updates, you can notice under the notes, I told her, in this case, I set this up in training this morning. I had my notes in there, and it shows your first meeting, callback dates, and the seller type and activity, and the password for them. So that was under prospect. I selected a client. Where'd it go? Then I went down to batch search, and then I went down to printable report. And then you run your batch, and it shows you. It's an easy database to keep track of. It's not real fancy, but it's something that is you're already paying for it through your MLS dues. And that's pretty much it. Not much to it. Do I have any questions? Oh, someone gave me a big ol'. Okay. How the emails go out from your MLS depends on the settings that you have in the setup. The question is on the emails, if depending on your program you're using, I'm going to go down to the batch email, and I've selected 1, 2, 3 in this case, and I'm going to hit the run, the batch. This right here, if you check this, it will default to your local email system that you're working with, Outlook and Adora, Top Producer. It will not work with your Google or Gmail because it's not a default system in the program. This would be on the computer. So I would leave this unchecked, and then it will go out through the MLS. You don't need any other program to do that. And it should send you, because you should have a copy set up for you, and it should send you a copy of the email through your Gmail account, providing you don't check, excuse me, if you check this, it'll use your existing system email, if you're using a Gmail account, you want to leave this blank because it will send you a copy through your email address up here because you're sending you a copy of that. Any other questions?
Is there a limit to the number of people you have in there?
As far as I know, there's no limit at this moment. The question was there a limit on how many prospects you can have? As far as I know, there isn't. I could be wrong. But what I would do is when someone becomes inactive for a long period of time, that's when I probably would download it to an export file or to an Outlook file that turns it into a .csv file where you can put it in another report. Another question. If they've saved a search, will they auto be entered into the database? That is correct. If they go in and they'll save a search, and you can create it from the free website, and you'll see the globe over here, they will automatically get, oops, let me go back. Let me use one that's actually looked at something. Their searches, okay, and create a search. This person didn't create a search, but they can set up auto search. They've got it in here to email. This is a client that came in through the free website, and they put in their information. They logged in, and then the last time they read an email, in this case, was June 14th. But they can go back in and they can update themselves because they've got an email button, or excuse me, a hyperlink with a password that was created for them at the time they logged in. So I hope that answered the question. Okay. If you have any other questions, you may call me. My number is 261-7172, and I'll be glad to help anybody in the future or any questions that you have on this. Hope everybody have a great Valentine's Day. Oh, sorry, a couple more. Do you have to use it? It automatically generates the password, so I haven't been able to figure out how to change that password. Let me get my mouse back real quick. Open up an account here. Yeah, it won't allow you to go in and change the password. So I have not figured that out where they can create it. When they log in, they create their own password. When you send it out to them, it creates it because you see that it created a URL down here, and so that password will go with that. So as far as I know, you cannot change the password. What is the free website? The free website is, oops, something happened. I lost it. The website is the MLS free website. In these cases, they came through our website and they linked on the MLS IDX link, and that's where that information came from. When it sends an email to you, I'm not sure if I can get it here, but it allow you to let me try. I'm gonna log on to my email account and let's see if I can pull one up that was emailed to me today. The next question, I'll get back to this one. I have not used a password ever for my buyers. That would be based on if you had put in a URL link. Yes, the question is the password for the free website? That is correct. Let me take a moment to log into my mail account. Which, if this comes up, you'll see one that you created, like I created today for an earlier training. Any other questions while this is loading? This is one that I filled in a minute ago about information that I was considering. It sent me an email and it gave me the information on it. It says, when are you considering purchasing? This is the default, and I'm going to show you what the original email looks like if I can find it here. I've misplaced it. I must have deleted it, so. Yeah, I've misplaced the email, but when it emails to you, it'll come up to the free website and you'll actually see what I was talking about. Unfortunately, I can't pull it up here because I must have deleted it and we're just about out of time. So if you do have any other questions, again, you can call me at 261-7172.